Good evening, Oral Gibbs, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. And with me this evening, I have a very interesting young lady. She's president of the Democratic Party of St. Martin, Gumbs. How are you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Gibbs. Thank you for having me on the show this evening.
And thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you.
Now, you run a huge organization, the oldest political party in the history of St. Martin.
Correct, 62 years.
Wow. And so, were you worried about taking up the challenge?
No, back in 2009, Mr. Gibbs, I ran on the Democratic Party. And of course, the question was, when is she coming back? What is she going to do? Is it that I'm going to stay out for a while, gain some additional training? And I said, I saw where the party was going. I know our leader's intentions and what she intends to do for not only the party, but the country as a whole. And I said the only way for us to revive this party is to have new ideas. I wanted to play a part in that. And I said to the leader and to others, I am contesting the election for presidency. And I knew the role. I knew what was going to entail. I knew what it was going to take for me to get the party from where it is to where we want it to be. And in doing so, I said, yes, I do have my hands full, but I'm definitely willing to take up this challenge.
That's quite a challenge, believe me.
Yes, it is.
Because here you have a political party that is the oldest, also the most powerful party in the history of St. Martin.
Right.
And then when you look at the party today, the party only holds 2 seats in
Correct.
Parliament. So you have quite a challenge to reverse that in a way.
Yes, it's sad that we actually had the 2 seats in Parliament, and then unfortunately, because of politics, that 1 seat went independent.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. However, imagine with that 1 seat, we have a very powerful today MP, and she's, President of Parliament. And it's reasons like that why I encourage others like myself to be a part or want to join the train of the Democratic Party. We can learn so much. She knows the ins and outs of government, being on both sides of it. And I think because of her, I want to stick around and gather that training. And for her, she herself said, at this point, it's about passing on the knowledge, passing on what to do, what to look out for. And so there's no other place that I would want to be.
You know what's amazing? Mrs. Westcott is such an intelligent lady.
Is.
I mean, the average person don't have a clue how intelligent she is.
Yes.
And at the same time, sometimes you hear people speaking about her as if she's this kind of person that doesn't know anything or doesn't know about an issue. And I think they're dead wrong.
Correct,
If
I
you
agree.
really get to know this lady,
Exactly,
you'll see that
exactly.
there are not many politicians on St. Martin that is as intelligent as she is. So,
And I think the reason why she's so intelligent is because one thing she advocates is reading. Mr. Gibbs, I can't tell you how much I'm to reading. You have to read to understand and read with comprehension, to really know what it is you're talking about. Don't go in there ad hocly and feel that, okay, this is how you feel about a position. There's one thing to have a feeling of a position. There's the next thing to go by the book, by the law. And that's something that I don't think anybody can take away from her.
and you know what? And I've said this to her many times. Maybe I sound like a broken record, but the late Dr. Clawati, he always used to brag about how intelligent she was.
Yes.
So that is something I think that she sometimes have to maybe push in people's face a little bit, because it's annoying sometimes to hear people speaking.
True.
Yeah. But now that you're there, you're a new generation.
Yes.
What are you have any goals you want to share with us?
Well, since taking up the position, we have a board that consists of young professionals, young at heart professionals, and everybody's learning from everyone else, you know. We've hit the ground running already, Mr. Gibbs. We've had many board meetings. We've had information sessions where we wanted to know information on pertinent issues affecting St. Martin, and we were able to get the knowledge from the MP herself and Minister Lee, you know. So those were the things that we said, okay, we want to be a party that is visible again. You can only be visible when you go out and do work, not in a sense of having you be visible only when election time comes up. And of course, unfortunately, what you're going to get right now, Mr. Gibbs, is you're going to hear people say, oh, they're only doing whatever because elections is around the corner. I've heard a previous board member of the Democratic Party mention that, you know, it's like Christmas. We come out, hang up the ornaments, and then, you know, you put it back. But I just have to let that previous board member know that it's a new board now, and we are definitely about doing things, getting the word out, bringing awareness to many issues that are affecting people, and that's how we will continue to bring in people to the Democratic Party, number one, two, and touch those who have possibly left. You know, we have lost something, and this is one of my main reasons for coming on board as president. We have lost the ability to reach out and touch. And if you can't admit it, if you can't take ownership for where you yourself have lacked, going forward would be very difficult. So I sat down with the board and I said, we have to recognize our own flaws. And so, yes, we plan to do community work. We have started already, as a matter of fact. When there was the St. Martin Doot, we assisted the Red Cross. And by the way, Mr. Gibbs, I would like to congratulate the Red Cross on their 40th anniversary, an organization in itself that believes in volunteering, you know. And so I would like to congratulate the board and management on their 40th anniversary this month. And so we assisted them when they had their cleanup and resurfacing of the Belvedere apartments. We also, like I said, had our information sessions, and we plan to continue having sessions, but this time involving the public, having the public be aware of what their concerns are so that we know, you know, where we can assist.
So you're going to go to the different districts?
We are going to the different districts. We are going out to the districts.
The board, can you name the board?
Yes. So we have Mrs. Westcott, of course. She is a board member herself. We have Mr. Jim Rosen. He is the vice president. We have Jude Piper. He's the secretary. Juliet Piper, she's a member. Vida Boyrad, a member as well. And we have Giselle York. She is the treasurer of the party.
So,
and sorry, we also have Mr. Quinton Marlin. He's also a member.
So you all are going to contest the September 26th parliamentary elections?
Yes, we will be.
Yeah. And you know, this is an interesting year. And some of the political parties already, they're doing some amazing things behind the scenes.
Yes.
What are you all doing behind the scenes?
Oh, yeah, we're doing stuff behind the scenes as well, too, Mr. Gibbs. Yeah. You see the difference? And I think a lot of things I've noticed with parties in general is that everything you see a picture, and that's nice. I don't object to it, but I think you have to choose when and how to post certain things. Again, because regardless to what you're going to get, oh, it's election time. Yeah. And I don't want that precedence. I really don't want to set that tone for the Democratic Party 2016-2018 board. I don't want to do that.
You know, a lot of young people are not too happy with the process right now. They feel neglected. They feel that they're not playing a role on this island. How you feel as a president of a political party and hearing these kind of statements?
You know, I could understand. I really do understand young people, young and old alike, Mr. Gibbs, feeling like, you know, they don't understand the process. They don't want to really get involved. But I can only encourage persons in my age group for sure to know that in order to make a change in your country, you have to get involved. You have to know what government is all about. You have to take ownership for your, your responsibility in wanting to make a change. And so I can only encourage them to come out and listen, be a part, and not only listen to the DP, but listen to everybody so you can make a uniform decision as to what role you want to play in making St. Martin better again for everybody.
I notice a lot of people have taken to social media, and the mistake they're making in St. Martin is that social media is still a small percentage of the population that really have access to social media or even understand how to use it. And they're missing out a large segment of the population. And it seems like most of the political parties are going to end up this year making that same mistake, disenfranchising a number of people, forgetting them because they're not in this digital age.
I agree. And that is why we're going to continue to hit the ground running, house to house, having information sessions, utilize the community councils, utilize them, they're there for a reason, and really go out and speak to the people so that those who don't have the access for social media are aware of what's happening and what our platform will be.
So what did people say to you when they heard that you were now president of the Democratic Party?
Well, I got lots of congratulatory messages, number one. For some, it wasn't no surprise, being Ramona's daughter. It's like, oh, well, that was coming, that kind of thing. But again, my mom had no idea until I told her, this is my intention, this is what I wanted to do. And she said, but why? She asked, why no, And I said, why not now? And if not now, when? So yes, I ran back in 2009, but I think I'm able to see now both sides, what to do, how to assist candidates. Because it's no longer just a rubber stamp, but this is your president. It's no longer like that. We do have a role to play. The board is really a board that have something to give back, and we have to answer a lot of questions. And in answering those questions, it's not only answering to our membership, but corporate governance. You have to comply. And so those are the things that we take very seriously at this point.
What are some of the issues you're hearing? Are they the same or are there new issues today?
Mr. Gibbs, I'm hearing basically the same. You're hearing GB. You're hearing crime, health, education. Those are all factors that have our attention as well. And I agree, those are things that needs urgent attention so that we would be able to curtail these issues that are affecting the people of St. Martin.
What about youth unemployment?
That too. Youth unemployment is significant. And I think one way that we can utilize or curtail that issue is really, first of all, getting the youth involved, knowing what is needed on St. Martin, because again, you don't want situations, Mr. Gibbs, where we send our youth away, get an education, they come back, you're either overqualified or you don't have the experience. How else do you gain experience if you don't give me a chance? We need to utilize the needs, what are needed here on St. Martin at the same time. You can't have X amount of children going away doing the same thing. Then you come back and then you're still lacking. And then you need to go in and bring in others to fill that void, So I think that is something that we need to focus on as well.
Let me ask you this. Have you had a chance to speak with young people that are studying or have studied in the Netherlands?
Unfortunately, no. I have not.
I hope you do, because I tell you, what I've noticed over the years is that, sometimes people complain that our young people go to the Netherlands and they fail because they're dumb. It's not true. Our young people are not dumb. They're not stupid.
Correct, of course not.
What I have noticed in the Netherlands, and especially speaking to a number of other young people, when they go there, they're up against racism.
Oh, wow.
And it's really, really bad. They're up against a system whereby, although they studied in a part of the kingdom, they're being told that they're not from that country. They don't feel at home. They're not welcome.
Wow.
And so we need to have this strong support. And I know your party leader at one time started the Triple S, it was.
Correct.
And that was such a great organization because it really helped to assist
Correct.
the young people. It no longer exists. And I know at the time there were some issues. But I'm not asking for us to babysit our young people when they go to the Netherlands.
I understand.
But we need to understand the situation and what they're up against.
Correct. I totally agree. And that is something that I would definitely look into. So thank you very much for bringing it to my attention, Mr. Gibbs.
Yeah. No, because I hear everyone speaking about our young people and come back. America's easy. They're familiar with America, but Holland seems to be a big problem. And what I understand from some people that are working closely with it, I don't want to call the names of the organization, they're telling me, look, many of them come back within a year. And when you start to hear all of the different issues, so I know you're president of a party, and it's good for politicians to look into this and see what they can do to assist it. Yeah. So what else you see as important for St. Martin?
So yes, so we discussed health.
That's a big issue.
It's a major issue.
Big.
And Mr. Gibbs, as much as people don't like to talk about the subject, I think it's something that as a party we need to focus on. Right now I have a friend whose father recently passed away and was caught in a situation where now how is bills going to be paid? How is the burial cost is going to be paid? And I think as much as we don't want to think about it or even talk about it, we need to prepare for it.
Right.
And so one of the goals that I have along with the board is to go to insurance brokers and to see what burial policies they can have in order to have loved ones not go through the pain and stress that my friend recently has to have been going through, and at least that way we can invite the insurance brokers to give their information, and then have the community be informed and make a decision on that. I think it's really sad when you don't even have a clue. Yes, government is there, but government can do but so much as well,
right.
So preparation is key, and I think that is something that we should also focus on.
It seems like we've gotten so accustomed to being laid back, and in the past the government will take it.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of difficult.
So that is something that is on my agenda, that I would want the board to agree with, so that we can move forward. Just in that case, because again, you don't know until it comes to your doorstep,
right.
Unfortunately. So.
And what about there's other thing in housing. Seems a lot of young people are worried about housing.
Yes, I have noticed that, and I have a colleague who I know is really it's one thing to want to own your own home. Of course, everybody wants to do that, but the process, the banks, the loans, the interest rates, the way you're getting the land from. The amount for it, it's a tedious situation, and I myself am going through it too. So I know, for a sign, it's not an easy thing to want to accomplish. But where there's a will, there's a way.
And at the same time, interest rates are much lower now. I remember when I first built my house, interest rates was 13-14%. And now they're down to 7-8. So
yes, but I honestly believe too, Mr. Gibbs, that the timing and putting your hat, not wanting to, make it, you need to know priorities. You can't want to have a house, but then going out every weekend. It's not possible. You need to prioritize. And so for me, I think being educated in that light is something that needs to happen as well, so that, you can go towards your goals.
All right. I'm Earl Gibbs. You're watching Speaking of Everything. I'm speaking with Ms. Gumbs. She's president of the Democrat Party, and she's also treasurer of the late Officer Gamali Benjamin Foundation, right?
Yes, I am.
So how's the foundation going? It's almost a year now since it was...
We actually got notarized on December 5th, 2015. And, it's really unfortunate that we had to form such an organization, a foundation. However, the foundation was formed in memory and honor of our late hero, Officer Gamali Benjamin. And, Mr. Gibbs, it was started under the premise that we need to do something, we need to give back. And in doing so, we want to first thank all persons who have donated thus far to the organization. Our goal is the following: to assist the men and women in blue, injured men and women in blue during the line of duty at no fault of their own, number one. Number two, if they have passed and had children, we will be able to assist those children. And by assist, we mean taking care of their educational needs. We would also be taking care of their after-school activities. And in addition to that, we want to have an educational life insurance for these children as well.
So there's a lot. And how is it going so far in terms of the foundation?
Well, the foundation is going well. We have 5 board members, including myself. And, it took some time to get things going just because we wanted to make sure our I's and T's were dotted and crossed. Now that has happened, we finally got the accounts open. And so right now what the intention is basically to get the ball rolling in order to assist the late Gamali's son, so that he can have what we planned in our articles and what we said we're going to do, that we will go ahead and do it.
What was the day that incident took place?
It took place, he was shot on August 5th, but he died on the 8th.
Oh, so we're almost a year.
Almost a year.
So, it took this community by surprise, because I haven't heard anyone said anything negative for Officer Benjamin.
No, that's true.
He was well loved. Really.
And I mean, by all facets of the community, when we got notices, every now and then you get a call, please come by, we have a donation to the organization, we say thank you so much, because again, because of him, and keep it in mind, in his memory, this foundation was formed. Right now, his son stands to I don't want to say it in the sense of gaining, but his son stands to receive from the organization what we set forth. And unfortunately, because of the death of Officer Boseman, his expected child too would be come into consideration, because while he was really not in the line of duty, he was on his way to work, and by law, we have taken that into consideration.
Any plans to maybe change the name so there won't be any conflicts?
No, I again, our articles, Mr. Gibbs, states in honor. And I know there's some technicalities around the name.
We'll leave that for another show.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary for us to speak about that right now, but I think what you all are doing is great.
Thank you.
And I want to commend you and the foundation for the work you all are doing. and I hope that we can do a follow-up, and then
Yes,
we can talk more about all of that.
Perfect.
So I only have about 30 seconds remaining, so I want to give that all to you as President of the Democratic Party. Anything you want to add in closing?
Well, Mr. Gibbs, again, I would like to thank you for having me on the program here this evening. And if you have not signed up yet as a Democratic Party member, I'm encouraging you to come out. You can call any of the board members. I am on Facebook, and I will be glad to sit down with you here so that you can hear what our plans are and you can be an informed member of the Democratic Party.
All right. So again, thank you and much success.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gibbs.
And that's it for now. See you next time. Till then, good night. Take care. Bye.